Let's talk about sleep deprivation. Can we do that for a second? Am I allowed to talk about sleep deprivation? Because I'd love to talk about sleep deprivation because it's something that I've recently been suffering from a lot. I've been suffering from it a little too much. I have to wake up early now. I have a job. I have responsibilities, you know? As Uncle Ben once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And I have great responsibility now. And part of that great responsibility requires me to be up at the ass crack of dawn. The literal ass crack of dawn. Like, I can see dawn's ass crack. I'm up at the ass crack of dawn. That's how close I am to dawn's ass crack. I am at it. But I digress. Because of this, I am tired all the time. I don't get enough sleep. You want to know something about me? Here's some quick information about me. Here's a fun fact about me. I'm a night owl. I love being up late. I'm not an early bird. I don't like being an early bird. I like staying up late. I like being awake when nobody else is. That's just how I operate. I like doing it. I love the nighttime way more than the early morning. Not discrediting the early morning, though. Okay? I'm not discrediting the early morning. I do like there are times on occasion where I do like getting up early in the morning and, you know, in the morning there's a little bit more of a breeze. Like on a summer day, in the morning it's a little colder because it would just, you know, at night it gets colder. And in the morning it's warming up, but it's still a little cold in the morning. So you kind of have a nice gentle breeze in the morning when you walk outside and you want to have a nice glass of orange juice. Like, I do like the morning. I appreciate it because of that. And there's also something about being up early in the morning that just makes you feel productive. It doesn't make you feel quite so useless, you know? Like, there is a good feeling that comes with being up early, but even though it has its perks, even though it has its upsides, I still just prefer being up at night. I like watching a good TV show at night before I go to bed, having a night snack, just doing whatever I want to do while everybody else is sleeping, even working, doing something productive at night. That's also fun. Because it also gives you that cool feeling where it's like, you know, everybody else is sleeping, but I'm fucking up and it makes me feel, am I allowed to feel good about myself? It makes me feel good about myself. Nowadays, I need things that make me feel good about myself. It makes the pill swallow down easier. If you know, you know. But, yeah, I'm a night owl. And so, anyways, sorry for the sidebar. Since I'm a night owl, even though I have to wake up early for my job, I still tend to go to bed late. Like, I go to bed at 11 o'clock usually. And I say I go to bed at 11 o'clock, but that really means I fall asleep at 12. Because it takes me an hour from when my face hits the pillow to actually fall asleep. I just have those issues. It takes me a while to fall asleep. I usually lay there for about an hour until I pass into the sleeping realm, if you will. So, yeah. So I go to bed really late, and you may be thinking to yourself, you may be saying to yourself, well, this guy's a fucking idiot. Why doesn't he just go to bed earlier? It's a simple change. Go to bed earlier. It's not that simple. It never was. Actually, no, let me change it. It's simple. It's a simple task, but it's a hard task at that. There could be very simple tasks where the idea of it all is simple in theory, but just doing it is hard, you know? Like going to the gym. Going to the gym is easy. You go to the gym, you pick up weights, you put down weights, and you repeat that process a bunch of times, then you leave. It's a simple process, but it's difficult because it hurts. It's painful. You don't like it. The instructions are clear. The signs are clear, but actually getting up and doing it, that's the hard part. That's the difficult part. That's actually a really good comparison to the situation that I'm facing right now with my sleep and trying to go to bed earlier. Going to bed at 9, that just feels like, it makes me feel like a wimp if I go to bed at 9. I'm going to start feeling like my parents if I go to bed at 9. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to I don't want to accept that yet. Maybe one day I'll accept it when I'm 35. I'll call it at 35. When I turn 35, I'll swallow that pill, I'll accept it. But until then, I will be sleep deprived. And that's even if I make it to 35, okay? That's even if I make it to 35. Alright, I'm still drinking my Celsiuses. I used to do 3 a day. Then I went to 2 a day. Now I only drink 1 energy drink a day. I was talking to Claude, and Claude told me that I shouldn't be drinking that many energy drinks a day. He said, I will die. So, I don't want to die yet. I still have some things to sort out before I die. Only a couple more things, you know. I'm not going to be too greedy here and ask for too many years. I'm only 20 years old, but, you know, I still got a couple of things I need to sort out, and then I could pass. We'll call it at... If I had to give a prediction for how long I think I'm going to make it... Yeah, no, I'm not going to make a prediction. You know what? I'm not going to make a prediction. I'm not a guy who believes in manifesting, but just for a moment, I'm going to choose to believe in manifesting. And I don't want to manifest my death age. Because now I'm going to say this, then, like, let's say one day I blow up and I actually do become famous or whatnot. Then someone's going to clip it when I die at the age of whatever I predicted, and they're going to say, oh, look, he predicted his death. And it's not going to be a prediction, it would have been a manifestation, what I just did right there if I predicted it, if you catch my drift, if that isn't confusing. It sounds confusing explaining it, but maybe it was easy to listen to, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not going to predict that. I don't feel like predicting that, you know? Nobody wants to do that. You're not quite sure what you're putting out there. You know, you never know when you put something out. You never know what you're going to get back. You know, when you throw a stake into the darkness, you don't know. I don't know what I was saying right there. When you throw a stake into the darkness, what does that even mean? Can somebody explain to me what that means when you throw a stake into the darkness? Where was I even going with that? What was I even planning on doing with that? That was just horrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just kind of throwing something out there. You ever seen The Office before, the show The Office? That one episode and that one line where Michael Scott said that, the boss Michael Scott, he said that sometimes I just start sentences and hoping without knowing... Let me rephrase that for a second. Michael Scott, the boss, said, sometimes I start a sentence and I don't even know how I'm going to finish it. I just hope I find the way somewhere along the way. I don't think that was verbatim what he said, but that was the general idea of what he said. And that's kind of what I did when I said I'm going to throw the stake into the darkness. So, and we don't even know if it was a cooked steak or not. Maybe, was it a cooked steak or was it a raw steak? Medium rare, well done, rare. I don't know. I'm the creator, right? I'm the guy who made... I was the guy who was drawing the comparison. I should be able to tell you what kind of steak. It was a well-done steak. I threw a well-done steak into the darkness. A well-done steak was thrown into the darkness, and we don't know what we're getting back. Okay? That's all we know. Well-done steak, thrown into the darkness. We have zero clue, not a clue, what we're getting back, but all we need to know is it was thrown into the darkness. Never to be seen again. Unless it does get thrown back, then we'll see it again. And then when it gets thrown back, we'll see what was thrown back. And then we'll finally have an answer to what happens when you throw a steak, a well-done steak, into the darkness. What's in the darkness? No one knows. That's life's greatest mystery, man. What's in the darkness? I don't fucking know. And honestly, I don't fucking care. To be honest, I don't really fucking care to be talking to you anymore. I've been talking for 9 minutes and 30 seconds at this point. I'm just about over at this video. No offense. No offense or anything. You're probably decent, so... maybe. Thank you for your time.